In this video, I'm going to go over how to work in RStudio. So when you open RStudio, this is what you'll see. I'm going to go ahead and open up Script Editor. So I can go up here to the plus sign, click the down arrow, and click on RScript. This opens up a code editor window. Next, I'm going to go over the 4 parts of the RStudio environment. First is the code editor, where you enter in code that will be executed. In order to run the code, you press this button. It'll run one line at a time, or it'll run a selection of code. Next is the workspace. This contains a list of variables, objects, and data sets and allows you to interact with those over here. Next is the notebook, and this has several components. It has a folder directory where you can look at the files that you have in your working directory. It also has a window where you can see the plots that you've generated and to export those. Next is a list of packages, and these are the packages that are currently installed. If there's a check in the user box, that means that it's loaded as part of your session. So none of these are currently loaded. This also allows you to install new packages and to update existing packages. And finally, this search window here is really handy because sometimes you might not remember if you have a package installed or not. Also, we have the help functions or help directory here, and this allows you to search for different packages and also functions in order to get help on how to implement those. The next part of the RStudio environment is the console. It's here that the lines of code are executed, and you'll get information according to the code that you wrote, and you'll also get information and error messages in this console window. Next, I'm going to go over how to set the CRAN, which is where RStudio goes in order to install new packages or to update. I'm going to go into the Tools menu and down to the bottom to Global Options. And this gives me a lot of different global options. For example, you can make changes here that will affect the appearance of the RStudio window. So you might want to play around with optimizing this to suit your needs. And in order to get the information about the CRAN and the packages, I'll go to the Packages option. And at the top, I can see that the CRAN repository is set to global, which is what I want. That means that it's going to go to that place in order to install new packages. And if I want to change that, I can change it here. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to set up a project. So I'll go into File, click on New Project. I want to put this in a new directory. And I'm going to just leave it in the desktop, but if you want, you can put it in a different location. And I'll call it Trial. And it creates the new project. And I can see in the upper right-hand corner now it says Trial. So it's working off of a project. And there's a project file right here. You want to make sure you don't delete that. Now, when I work in RStudio, I like to be really organized, and so what I do is I set up some folders, and I use the same folder names every time I have a project, and I recommend you do the same thing. So you're going to come over here and click New Folder, and the first folder I create is RScripts. This is where I put the script files. The next folder I'm going to create is called RData, and this is where I put the data files. And the final thing I'm going to create is ROutput. And this is where I put the output files. Okay, so you can see that these show up over here, and I can click on those and look at the files that are in there. And I'm going to need to create a new script file because I got rid of the other one. And then I can go ahead and type something and save this, and it automatically comes to my trial folder, and I can save it in the script files. Call this first script and save, and it shows up over here.